This is the story of the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Company. The story of ordinary people who, through their efforts to rescue, protect, and serve their community, become extraordinary.
This year, it's my pleasure to present Officer of the Year plaque and award past President Alan Matz. Come on up.
As volunteers, these men and women receive no pay except the gratitude of those they help. And yet, to be accepted into this elite corps, they must devote thousands of hours to training, service, and fundraising every year. Tonight, they honor the contributions and bravery of outstanding members, those who are living and those who have passed on. A good time is had by all.
I can't suck it in too much.
How about after that meal?
But tomorrow night, it could be a different story. Then, suddenly, they may be called upon to fight a blazing fire before it burns out of control, or rescue the victims of an accident. Every year, the fire company responds to more than 700 calls for help. Many times, the victims are people they know. And because the closest hospital is 50 miles away, they are one of the finest emergency rescue teams on the East Coast. This is just a drill, a simulation used to hone the firefighting and rescue skills that can mean the difference between life and death. It took many hours to plan and execute what you see here. But the next time the team performs this operation, it may well be to save lives. Chincoteague is an island on Virginia's eastern shore, 7 miles long, 1.5 miles wide, and only 2 feet above sea level. It is protected from the Atlantic Ocean by its neighboring island, Cowboys, which is inhabited only by its famous herd of wild ponies and hundreds of species of wildlife. Before a causeway was built in 1922, Chincoteague life was defined by its isolation from the mainland and a close dependence on nature. And time and again, the islanders have felt nature's fury. Storms, floods, and fires have repeatedly wreaked devastation. Yet every time nature is destroyed, the people of Chincoteague have turned to one another and rebuilt. A strong ethic of community self-reliance and service for others has defined their existence. In fact, it was the fire of 1920, a blaze that consumed 12 homes and businesses, that sparked the creation of the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Company. Organized in May of 1924, with 14 charter members and its first fire chief, Mr. Eba Jones, the company passed the hat and collected a whopping $4.16. That July, they held the first annual Firemen's Carnival and incorporated a pony penning day. Pony and sheep penning had been practiced on Chincoteague for many years as local entertainment. This new celebration netted $3,500, which the young company used as a down payment for an American La France pumper. Over the years, the carnival and pony penning festivities brought worldwide attention to this special island. Author Marguerite Henry found inspiration here, and Chincoteague's spreading reputation attracted sportsmen, tourists, artists, and lovers of seafood and wildlife. Today, Chincoteague swells from a year-round population of just over 4,000 to 5 times that number during the summer months. The annual Firemen's Carnival is held throughout July and reaches its peak during Swim Week, which features the Wild Pony Roundup, Swim, and Auction. As the big week arrives, the growing wave of visitors reaches 25,000 and jumps to as many as 75,000 on the day the ponies swim the channel. Yet even as they gather, few visitors realize the astounding amount of work that goes on behind the scenes. All year long, the fire company has been planning every detail of every event.
Well, every summer we got to come down here and cut the grass, clean up all the trash, get these buildings ready, put all the rides together, clean everything. It's just little things that the public doesn't see, doesn't know what's going on. It's just a whole lot to do.
I was a kid, grew up here. Carnival was important then, and it's important now to these kids.
I'm going to spin it.
Each ride is tested and retested to make certain it's safe.
We even do the non-destructive testing every year. It's not required, but we do it anyway to make sure that all our welds are good and that we don't have any cracks in any of the stress points that we can't see.
Finally, the big day arrives.
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the Chincoteague Volunteer Firemen's Carnival.
All firemen, man, your rise and stands, please.
For every day and night of the carnival, the fire company and Ladies Auxiliary operate all the rides, handle all the concessions, and run all the games. It takes more than 100 volunteers to make this carnival go.
Flour, baking powder, salt, pepper, a little Old Bay seasoning. That's how we get our batter for our oysters, clam fritters.
As Swim Week begins, a select group of firemen and volunteers turn Saltwater Cowboy and head to Chincoteague for the Wild Pony Roundup.
The older members used to go over by boards and then ride the ponies up.
There was no horse trailers or nothing, no fences. Had a horse pen. That's all they had, one horse pen. And they'd do some one day, then they'd do some the rest of the day. Go back every day, bring their horses home every night. It would take a week at least for them to round them up.
Riding the roundup on Chincoteague takes special knowledge of the island's marshes, beaches, and barriers. Most of these folks learned the job as children from their fathers, brothers, uncles, or cousins who were saltwater cowboys before them. In years past, only members of the fire company were eligible to participate. Today, their numbers are complemented by skilled volunteers from around the region.
If it wasn't for the volunteers, we wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, we don't have enough firemen to handle the herd over to Chincoteague. A lot of people up in Maryland, Delaware, Virginia Beach, North Carolina. We really respect them, and they help us out a lot.
The Cowboys ride 3 roundups every year. One in the spring, one in the summer, and one in the fall. The fire company depends on these ponies, and the town of Chincoteague depends on the fire company. So the firemen take every measure to safeguard the ponies' health.
We do 3 roundups a year, and those roundups we always have a vet on site to help with the horses and to give the horses all their shots and everything else that's associated with them. And that generates bills in excess of $10,000 per year right there. Then we always keep extra horse feed on hand for any of the horses we may have down at the carnival ground or the horses over on the island. Especially if we get a bad winter, we will put food over there and also make sure that the ponies have fresh water and whatever they need to survive with.
In preparation for the pony swim to Chincoteague, the July roundup concludes when the northern herd is driven along the ocean shore to merge with the southern herd. It's at this time that the Chincoteague Pony Association helps prepare the ponies for the auction. Since its founding in 1994 by the Fire Company, they have tagged and photographed every pony born on the Virginia end of Chincoteague Island. The association's goal is to gain international recognition for the breed, and to ensure the pony's well-being, they stay in touch with all registered owners.
Thanks for being part of this, the 75th Annual Pony Roundup and Swim.
Preparations are now complete. The veterinarian has determined which ponies are ready to make the swim, but the ponies can't cross the channel until an experienced hand determines that it's slack tide.
I'll take an old stick or something and go down to the dock down there to Memorial Park, and then I'll take the stick and throw it out and watch it, and when that stops moving, then you know it's slack tide.
When slack tide arrives, the Cowboys drive the ponies in. The ponies swim the channel to Chincoteague under the watchful eyes of the firemen, the volunteers, and the veterinarian. Not a single pony has been lost in more than 75 years of pony swims. When they reach land, the ponies rest. The veterinarian checks them again.
Well, it went pretty good. We got a good bunch. They know what they're doing. That's what counts.
It's exciting. I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect with the mud. It's real deep mud. It's a lot of work goes into it, but overall, it's worth it.
Then it's time for the parade. The ponies make their way through town, heading for the carnival grounds and the auction the next day.
I've been coming to it ever since I was knee-high. I always wanted to be in a pony roundup. It's a bright thing to be a part of pony thing.
Ready? Got one coat, Billy. Two. All right, send them on. Ball. 2 coats, baby.
Behind the scenes, the firemen and volunteers take care of the 1,001 tasks necessary to make the auction a success.
The old saying is that it used to, when a horse rolls over, you know, from this side to this side, he's worth $100. Now and that little colt, number 12, we watched him yesterday. He rolled over 15 times, so he'd be worth $1,500.
Welcome to the 75th Pony Penny Carnival. It's the history of the event. It's the magic of the Marguerite Henry folks. It's the thrill of watching the ponies swim. The excitement of this auction, making your dreams come true about buying a Chincoteague pony. And I want to recognize the volunteers of the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Department. Let's give them a big round. And ladies and gentlemen, the auction's on. What am I bid? And what am I bid? He ran out of 1,000. I'm going to get $1,000 there. 10,000, now 11.
Very quickly, the excitement mounts.
The first one sold, the money goes to the ladies' auxiliary. Yes!
The bidding grows fierce. This is a chance to go home with a pony that looks like Misty.
All the way back to the telephone pole.
Whether it's handling the ponies or spotting the bidders, the firemen and other volunteers make sure everything runs smoothly.
Thank you. Money goes to the ladies' auxiliary.
The proceeds we get from the ponies buy the fire trucks and whatever ambulances and hose, whatever we need. Take care of maintenance of the ponies.
All right, let's get it. So when you buy one of these babies like this, and we'll announce it, this baby remains with its mother. They go back on the island, you'll be notified, and you can come pick up the baby at the fall roundup.
And every now and then, something truly magical happens.
She'd been saving her money for quite some time.
And saved up to $304.
So she bid on every pony.
And then we realized that they were going for in the thousands. We went behind a trailer and cried till we had a headache.
Within the crowd that was surrounding her, they took up a collection.
All the people started rallying around her.
Some gentleman in the crowd made up another $200 or $300.
Somebody pulled out another 100.
She was guaranteed the pony, whether it brought any more than that or not. So she has her pony.
I feel very excited, and I feel like when I go home and when I tell all my best friends, they're going to freak out.
Needless to say, we want all we can get, but we want to recognize this element too.
You feel like you just can't believe it. Yeah. I feel like that was a pretty special thing that happened.
Little girl's tickled and so are we.
Thank you so much. This will be an experience I'll never forget.
I'm the president of the Chincoteague Ladies Auxiliary, and what we're doing, we're putting on a dinner. We do this every year on Wednesday, the swim, and on Thursday, the a chance to sit down and just rest a few minutes.
At the end of another long day, happy new owners are helped by tired but gratified volunteers as ponies are loaded into trailers for the journey home.
We require them to transport them humanely in a horse trailer that's certified by the SPCA. Our local SPCA has to say the trailer is good enough to move the colt or it doesn't get moved.
But of course, there's more to be done. Early the next day, the remaining ponies are returned to Chincoteague. There's the parade back and the return swim of the southern herd. The northern herd is transported by trailers. Soon, it'll be time for the fall roundup. And when winter comes, the firemen will face freezing winds to bring hay to the hungry herd and find fresh water for the ponies to drink.
The ponies on Chincoteague is what makes Chincoteague what it is. This is the 2 weeks how we're going to make our income to make it all year. We got a lot of members who go way out of their way to help you.
It is getting harder and harder. Instead of having one job and having 12 hours a day to volunteer to something, everybody's maintaining 2 jobs or 3 jobs. It's just nice to be associated with something as famous as the Chincoteague Wild Ponies.
Through it all, the firemen maintain a constant vigilance against fire and medical emergency.
We're up at all times of night, daytime. It doesn't make no difference what the weather is. When those tones go off, we come out.
The history of this island and the lives of its people are interwoven with the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Company. Almost everyone on the island has a relative who has served in the company, and the roster of active, honorary, lifetime, and deceased members reads like a history of the island itself. And that is why, on this special night, when the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Company celebrates, the whole island of Chincoteague celebrates too.